I'm a Virginia girl at heart. I'm a wife, a mother, an author, and civility and event professor. One of my greatest joys is sharing ways that we can grace our homes and communities with love, kindness, goodwill, and hospitality. What I have come to know is that in order to share and love on people that I come in contact with, I must focus on my heart by consciously making an effort to practice daily routines that nurture and infuse my soul with joy, peace, and love. This in turn allows me to feed and love on my family and community. When I am at my best, I can give my best to everyone that I come in contact with. Heart, home, and community is the core of Gracing Up. So please come join with me as I walk through this journey as I share this art of gracious living. Welcome to this episode of Gracing Up. I am so excited to have Carin Kilby Clark on the show today. Carin is a life coach and she's doing amazing things. She's a blogger. And I have been following you for some time, and I'm always encouraged by your message. So I'm so honored to have you on the show today. So welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Good. So you know what? As a lifestyle coach, I want to hear, how did you get to be a lifestyle coach? What makes you a lifestyle coach?
So I started my first business on December 12th, 2012.
Okay.
So that 12-12-12 date just felt kind of magical, and I felt like a call to do something more than what I had been doing. I do work full-time in the government, and I love my career, but I just had like that creative side of me that wanted to do something. So, and I've always loved writing.
Okay.
So, but when I started my business, I started as an administrative consultant, kind of like a VA, because I heard a lot of entrepreneurs like struggling with all the admin work. And I'm like, oh, that's easy. I could do that because I do it at work. So I got like, it was like an easy transition, I thought. But I got like 3 clients right away, and it was fabulous. But then I discovered that I hated it. So I'm like, I do it all day at work. I don't want to come home and do it at night.
Right.
So during that time, I had started blogging. And so I just kind of transitioned from that admin consultant role to professional blogger, which just means that I treated my blog as a business from the start. It was never like a hobby for me. I knew I wanted to earn money from it. And I'm a mom of 3. So my oldest is 21, and I have a 15-year-old and an 11-year-old.
So you're very busy.
So,
You're very busy.
So there was a lot to write about between my own life struggles or things I was going through, and then talking about like motherhood. And at the time, my older son was a teenager, and so it was like a lot of fun things going on.
Right.
So there was a lot to write about. It was called Memoirs of a Clueless Woman.
Oh, okay.
Because my theme was like, we don't have any answers. We're all trying to figure it out together.
Okay, no, that's good.
It was fun. A lot of people started reading, and the community started building. And what happened is people started transitioning from like, oh, I love that, or oh, I can relate to that, to can you give me some advice?
Right.
Like, you work full time, you have your blog, you have 3 kids, you have brunch, and like you're happy and smiling, which that seemed to be the part that was really confusing.
Right.
Like, how are you smiling?
How are you doing this? How are you getting this done? And that's that's the big question.
Right.
So.
And so that's when I first thought, oh, well, I guess I could give advice. I could, so I didn't know anything about coaching. I didn't know what a life coach was, never even heard of it before. So I started researching, because that's just my nature. I love to research. So that's when I discovered like, oh, this is like a thing.
Right.
Like people actually are coaches, and they make a living doing that. So I started to explore that. I transitioned from the mommyhood mentor, from Memoirs of a Clueless Woman to the mommyhood mentor. Because I felt like if I'm going to do advice, I probably shouldn't say I'm clueless.
Right. Like as you're transitioning and you're giving me advice. So it's like, I would say that again. It's
the mommyhood mentor.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that title.
That's great. I've actually kind of pivoted again. Because I am like constantly evolving. But
that goes back to your mission of being intentional, and we'll talk about that too. But you're very intentional. So, and then being intentional, you have to transition to where you're being called and being used still. Okay, so I get that. So keep going.
So I kind of got a few clients right away and started talking to people, and that's when I realized that coaching really is a skill set. It's a profession. It's like a discipline, and I wanted to really respect that and honor that. And so earlier this year I took a course to become certified as a life coach. And I'm actually finishing another one to be certified as a business coach.
Okay.
So,
this is awesome stuff. I love how you're working you have your full-time job, but then you still have that entrepreneurial spirit that you're doing other things. And as a life coach, what, because I know that you seem very organized. And tell me about, it's a group of, I don't know if it's calendars or something that you get. It's a booklet that you put out there.
Sheets.
The power sheets. Now tell me about the power sheets. What's that?
Oh, I love them. But there's a company, Cultivate What Matters, and Laura Casey is the founder. I found her actually years ago when her first book was coming out, because I was doing research for the book I was writing at the time, which I still haven't finished, but that's another story.
Right.
But I love their mission. They're a faith-based company. Although they don't they don't shove their faith down anyone's throat, but they're very
you can
open,
just see it, right.
And that really called to me. They're very intentional, all of their products, and so the Power Sheets, this was actually my first year using them in 2018, and I just couldn't believe how it kept me on track.
Okay. So is it like a calendar? What is it? How does it work?
It's not a calendar. It's a goal planner.
Okay.
So you go through a process to really uncover what matters to you.
Okay.
Because what I found is I had set goals in the past. I've always been goal setting and all that, but I wouldn't achieve all of them, and I really didn't know why. Okay. And so what I found out later using the Power Sheets is that I was setting goals that I really didn't care that much about, right? And I think a lot of us do that. We know we should set goals, so we set them, but they're not goals that are really rooted in what we care about the most. And so
even I just think about when we go into, as we're going into the end of this year, but starting the new year, it's we put all these things, we're going to do this, we're going to get this done, we're going to get this done, but it never gets done. You're going through another year, and it's okay, that didn't ever get done.
Yeah.
So those power sheets seem to be really helpful. So when people come to you, do you have any success stories, or where you see people that are what is the process, and how do you get them to get to?
My biggest thing is something I learned years ago from Mary Morrissey. She runs the Dream Builder program. And she said something that just struck me, and it has stayed with me. And that's, you are creating a life. You don't get a choice about that. If you're alive right now, you're breathing, you're here, you're creating a life. So why not make it the life you want? Not living in reactive state. So many people that I talk to are just I just deal with whatever comes my way. I don't know, whatever's going to happen today. And it's changing that, becoming proactive. Where you can kind of plan. I mean, there are some things, especially as a mom or a parent, that you can't control. I mean, yesterday I had 2 calls from the 6th grade dean, literally. And I'm what
really?
now? So I didn't plan that. I can't control that, but I have to deal with it. But there are some things that you can take control of. And just be really intentional about your life. This is your life. Why would you not want it to be what you want it to be?
Yeah, and so for example, I'm just going to throw some scenarios out there for our viewers. So let's just say if it's a 20-year-old, and they're trying to figure it out, because you're still you're going through those steps, and you have your 21-year-old, I have a 21-year-old. So it's they're at that phase that they really don't know what direction they want to go into. So sometimes you start off with something, but we know as life goes on, it does change. But how would you encourage a 20-year-old? What do you say to your own son?
Yeah, I was going to say, I get to try out a lot of my tools on my kids, which is fun for me, not for them. They're is this what it's like for every kid that has a life coach parent? I'm I don't know, but this is what it's like for you.
So deal with it, right?
Right, exactly. But what I tell my son is just try everything. And just dream big. Don't tell yourself, oh, that's silly, or oh, that's not going to work. Just go with your wildest dreams. And then from there, what would it take? Not based on your current circumstance or what you think you can do or can't and all of that. And then just work from there. And try everything, because you want to figure out, what do you like? A lot of us I'm not passionate about anything. I just want to play video games. I'm well, that is actually a job.
That is a job.
I mean, there are people who get paid to test out video games. So just try all the things that, And don't be afraid to quit.
Right.
And when I say quit, I really mean pivot. You know, like not just quit everything, but if you try something and it's not working, just quickly detour to the next thing. Right. And I think we get a message, especially when we're younger, like, you know, never quit, and, you know, quitters don't win, and that kind of stuff, you know. So it makes us, you know, not want to change.
You feel like you're losing, but actually sometimes, and I always find too, though, where like if a door closes or things happen, that's just, to me, it's like God saying, okay, it's time for you to go to the next space. It's just like your nudge. And sometimes it's a little nudge, and sometimes it's a big push. Go on to the next and figure it out. But I do believe that it always lands somewhere, and you just have to know. But I do you feel that you're a visionary as well? So if I were your client, if I gave you my background, do you feel like you can give like a big picture to say, are you that person too?
That's actually
and that's a gift. You know?
And that's actually the starting point when I work with clients. Like we start there, like what is your vision? And a lot of times they're like, I don't have one. So we just kind of go from there, starting to like dream, because sometimes, you know, clients have never even allowed themselves to dream.
So I'm going to be your client all of a sudden, because so now what is, like, for myself, it's like I am a visionary, but I'm like, I can have like vision. I have like 5, you know what I mean? Because that's like my gift. I can see things and I can make, but it's just more or less, mine is the focus part of it. You know what I mean? Like really honing in. And it's like, no, but I love this too. You know, so what would you tell me?
I know. And I understand that. I feel that. I am that same way. So I'm like, oh, I can do all the things. No, I can't. No, so what am I going to focus on? And for that, I do turn to my faith. And I have a daily meditation practice. I also do journaling. So like I'll meditate and pray, and then I'll journal right after, which sometimes I will write things and then I'll come back to it like the next day or two, and I'm like, oh, I wrote that? Like I don't even remember writing it.
But
so
you
I know
in
that I was
moment
kind of
and
channeling.
being, and that's important. That's so important. I was just saying that to my girlfriend the other day. Is it's like, because I have been, it's so many things that's going on around me, but I know that for myself, in order to really know what God is saying, okay, Dedra, you need to be here at this point doing this, I've got to get quiet with him. And so I'm looking, like going into next week, it's like it's finally settling down for me. So I'm looking forward to, okay, God, what is it that you have for me next? And just receiving that. But I know that I have to do the work, and in order to get, and thank God we have our personal relationships, like going down the car. It's like, oh, when you're riding down the road, you can still speak and talk and do all those things. But it's really important to have that quiet time too.
It is. It really is. And when I don't have it, I can tell a difference. Like, I'll feel the stress, and I'll feel like things are out of control. So,
and that's not a good space to feel. Because I get into those spaces too, and I'm like, oh Lord, help me. When you are, I know, like on your website, you have a beautiful website.
Thank you.
So did you have someone to do that for you?
I when I decided like middle of last year, that I wanted to kind of transition, I was feeling called, I should say, to transition away from mommyhood mentor. And I wasn't sure into what yet. And so I worked with a brand designer, and we kind of dug into like what I want from my brand, what I want people to feel from when they come to my website or they interact with me.
And they did a beautiful job.
And
so what is the website?
It's my name, CarinKilbyClark.com, but like my company is Time to Thrive. Because I just really believe it's our time. Now is the time. We need to thrive and not just be surviving and stressed, and we got to let that go.
And you know what? There's peace in understanding, like just having your direction and working towards that. There's peace in that, but there's no peace in being chaotic. You know what I mean? When you don't have, like, the vision is not there. I'm thanking you for your services in that too. So tell me how people can contact you. Go ahead. Tell me your website.
On my website, which is CarinKilbyClark, Carin Kilby Clark, and I'm at Carin Kilby Clark on all the social media platforms. I just kept it simple, so it's just my name. But I mean, I love to share inspiration and just like anything that will help motivate people to take control and live the life that they want.
And so you're on social media as well too. So tell me this: you do like one-on-one coach. How does the format work for you? So if someone wanted your services, how would they come and find you?
Yeah, on my website there's a little
how would they get your
phone.
services? Yeah,
on my website there's like a little phone in
Yeah.
the top corner where if you click it, you can schedule a complimentary clarity call. Is what I call it.
Okay. No, I loved all your how you did all that.
Thank
so that was
you.
good. Okay.
Yeah, and I do one-on-one coaching.
Okay.
I'll have some group programs coming up soon.
Okay.
Some courses, like I'm trying to do things in order
Right.
and step by step so I don't get overwhelmed. But I want to try and serve people in as many ways as possible so that they can just start living their best life.
Okay. So when you're saying even the intentional living, how would you just right here, so for our viewers today, they want to get to that space of like saying, you know what, everything I do, I want it to be more intentional. I want to live a life that is my best life. So what would you say to them today?
I would say to get clear. Like you really have to get clear on what you want. That's the first step. And then after you get clear is focusing, like what we talked about. So like listening to your intuition, tuning in, whatever your faith is, practicing that and nourishing yourself with self-care. Self-care is a big one.
Right.
Especially us ladies, we struggle with that. So, doing your self-care and then just taking action. So, being consistent. I know we struggle with that too, especially with life happening, but, getting clear, really focusing on your intention, your intuition, your intention, and then taking that action.
Too.
Right, consistently.
Yes, and that's huge. That consistent word is huge because we can do it, but it's like, I know for myself, it's like I could start here and it's like, but if you don't keep that consistency going, it will go away. So And this show, we're all about the heart, home, and the community too. And so when you're speaking of the self-care and making sure that you're at your best, that's how you can give your best when you are, you have to take care of yourself. So as mothers, as entrepreneurs, the whole gamut of it. Anyway, I thank you for that. And you said you have 3 children.
Yes. And a grandbaby.
And a grandbaby. So tell me about the joy of the grandbaby.
It's one of those unexpected blessings.
Okay.
Obviously, I wasn't the happiest to find out I'd be a grandmother at 36. And I actually make them call me Mama. It's hilarious. But, I'm like, we're not using G words. Because I'm like, I'm not even 40 yet.
Right.
But it's really, and I think it's just like one of those things where, when you're living your life, you want to build a legacy. Right. And you want to know that even when you're gone, it will continue. And so when I look at him, I'm like, wow, like that's my baby's baby. And I can, he'll know me. Right. Like that's one of the benefits, I suppose, that, of being a younger grandparent is that I know that he'll remember me and I get to be a part of his life. And that really is a joy.
And then your mom is there too, so that's another generation. That's beautiful to have that, because my mom was with us for like 6 years when my daughter was in high school. So it was perfect. So she, even though they put me to the side a lot, but it was nice to have that 3 generations together and the wisdom that comes from my mom. And, so it was really good stuff. So look, thank you so much, Carin, for coming on today and sharing all that you're doing. And people, remember, you can go to CarinKilbyClark.com to find her. You can find her on social media because she has the best messages. I love what you post. It's all very encouraging and uplifting. So thank you for that.
Thanks so much.
And this episode was brought to you by CB Jewelry, and these are the beautiful earrings from their company. And I hope that you check them out as well. I have so enjoyed you being on the show today. It has been such a blessing to hear you talking about your life coaching business. Thank you for this show, and God bless.